What is the state of the barber industry right now?
You want my honest opinion?
I want your honest opinion.
The industry is fucked up. If you really want me to be honest.
All right, so I'm going to start this like I finish it. The internet has made the industry more visible than it ever has been. But the industry was never this rosy, sunny, romantic, classy place. The barbershop industry has always been like this. The internet just shows you more. And as we get older, we just have this nostalgic tie to our past as if everything was perfect or better. But what I think the issue with the industry is partly is the internet. It's full of bad advice and unrealistic expectations. Social media influencers are just saying anything online. And while what they're saying might work for them, most people don't always have the full context, or the influencers are purposefully being misleading for clicks and views. But just because they have a platform doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. They're just really good at the internet. One of the other issues, I can say this, I do believe this is something that is a new phenomenon, is the cash grab. I personally, growing up, I never had any idea how much a barber could make because I stopped going to the barbershop around the time I was like 10 or 12 years old. I've been cutting my own hair since then. So I think by the time I connect the dots, I personally had no idea how much a barber could make. And like all the people that I knew in my life that went to barber school and went to Cosmo school, they flunked out of the industry because of whatever their reasons are. They didn't have the work ethic, the drive, the skill set, the people's, whatever that is, they didn't have it. They flunked out. They had me thinking you could make no money in the industry. And then when the few times that I looked at getting into the industry before I actually decided to do it, I Googled how much do barbers make? And every time the range was 28,000 to 35,000. When I finally decided to become a barber in spite of that, I said to myself, you know what? I don't care if I make $20. I just want to be happy. So I think because of the internet exposing how much money a barber can truly make, I feel like a lot of people are getting into the game because of the benefits of the industry. But I do think that that is a new phenomenon. But I also think another issue that is as old as time is that non-employable people are getting into the game. And there are several reasons why non-employable people get in the game. A lot of it is because they're not employable. They can't keep a regular job. They don't want to be told what to do. They can't take being told what the standard is at your regular job. They don't want to be told to pull their pants up or that they can't smoke weed or that they have to be on time. People are like water. We choose the path of least resistance every time. Very few of us do the hard thing because it's difficult. Most of us do the easy thing because it's easy. Now, I think that that has always been the case. And people back in the 80s and 90s that couldn't keep a regular job also couldn't keep a barber job. That's why, at least for me, when I would go to a barbershop, every time I went back, I was seeing a different face in the barbershop. Nothing's changed. The barber industry is the same as it's always been. But people with poor work ethic and poor, and bad habits are rampant in the industry, just like they've always been. None of this is new. Now, another issue with the game that I think is probably a little bit of a newer phenomenon is instructors. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I don't have any factual data to back this up, but I think most instructors are subpar barbers and stylists. Not all, but most. And here's why I say that. I can only speak for barbers, but I know how much we charge. Now, a barber school instructor, in my research, they're not making more than $20 an hour. But let's just say you found a barber school that was paying $30 an hour for an instructor. Now, a good barber charges at least $30 for a haircut, if not $40 or $50. A lot of barbers can do at least 2 haircuts in an hour. So you're looking at anywhere from $60 to $100 or more an hour that you could be making. Why, if you're a decent barber and you can make $60 to $100 an hour, why would you settle for $20 or $30 on the high end? You wouldn't. The reason that people do that is because they love the industry. They want to stay in the industry somehow, but they can't find success in a barbershop. So now you've got those people bringing in new barbers into the industry. You've got those people training and teaching new barbers how to cut, how to be professionals when they themselves haven't mastered it. That is my opinion. Again, I'm sure there are exceptions to every rule, but I guarantee you, if you peel back the onion, you will find a subpar barber teaching our new up-and-coming barbers how to be successful. Now, if you own a barber school, whole different conversation. But if you are a paid instructor that is unaffiliated with the ownership of the school and you are just making $20 or $30 an hour, respectfully, you're a subpar barber. Most good barbers are making anywhere from $80 to $120 plus an hour. And I'm not going to come off that opinion. Now, another issue that is as old as time is barbers. Barbers are the problem with the industry, but they've always been. Barbers don't understand the game. They don't understand the industry. They only look at it from their perspective, not considering the client's needs. They don't treat this like a job or a career. It's a side hustle. They don't understand that if you want to be successful, you've got to treat this like a job. You have to do the same types of things that you would do if you were employed by a company. The standard don't change. If anything, you should raise your standard if you're working for yourself, because if you're a booth rent barber, you get to keep all the profit. But what happens is a lot of people become barbers and they do it because they're tired of people holding them to a standard, and then their standard lacks. They take their foot off the gas because they're their own boss. Oh, I ain't got to work this Saturday? That's cool. I'll just mail it in. Now, a lot of barbers don't understand the difference between being your own boss and working for yourself. Those are two different things. For example, a full-time content creator is their own boss and they work for themselves. But barbers are their own boss, but you work for who pays you. So you work for the client in your chair. Those are the people you work for. You don't work for yourself. You work for the people that pay you. That is the difference that a lot of barbers don't understand. In conclusion, the industry is no better or worse than it ever was. We just have access to the internet now. We get to see and hear things that we never saw or heard before. And when I was a little kid going to the barbershop, it was then as it is now. The professionalism was bad then as it is now. They smoke weed in the shop like they do now. They talk crazy in the shop around children like they do now. They sold everything in the barbershop, from clothes to weed to bootleg movies and porn and alcohol and food and hard drugs. Nothing has changed. But, excuse me, but barbershops were not run any better back then than they are now. Nothing has changed. There are still some good barbers. There are still some good barbershops. There are still some bad barbers. There are still some bad barbershops. You just got to know where to look. And it's funny. It's kind of like the orange idiot in the Oval Office, his logic. Back when COVID was a thing, he said, if we stopped testing for COVID, we would stop finding positive tests. Like that to me is the internet. If the internet wasn't what it is and available to everybody, we wouldn't know how bad other barbershops are. We wouldn't know how good other barbershops are. We wouldn't know the difference. We would just go to a barbershop out of necessity like we always have. But the idea that the industry is like failing or suffering, that's not true. Business is booming for you, boy. If you are good at your job, if you are good to your clients, you will thrive. Point blank, period. If you are subpar and you want to stay in the industry, find a mentor. Find someone that does what you want done or the way you want it done, and partner up with that person. Ask them if there's any way they will allow you to shadow them. One of the issues that I know is a part of the industry, but it's a part of every industry, is people come into the game, whatever that game is, and they think they know everything until they get a dose of reality. In the NFL, they call it for rookies their welcome to the NFL moment. Some of those guys have those welcome to the NFL moments in the preseason or at a press conference, and some of them have it when they get on the field for the first time and they get their bell rung by somebody that has been in the game for longer than they have. But whatever that looks like for you, one day you will realize that the things you thought about the industry aren't that, or it's not as easy or as hard as you thought it was. But a lot of people, again, are on the sidelines and they think they're in the game, but they're really in the way. And you just have to decide for yourself, what do you want for your career? Are you happy with what you're getting? If you are, cool, do nothing, make no changes. But if you want to do better or want more from the industry, find someone that has what you want. Find time in their schedule for you to fit in so that they can help you learn how to get like them without compromising what they are doing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. DM me if you would rather be more private. I'd love to hear from you. Sean Cuss H on all social media. I stream Thursday through Monday on TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I try to do every platform I can. But yeah, man, thank you for your time. Y'all have a good week.